Welcome back. Now, in our interview segment, the Director of the Federal Capital Territory Development Control, Mukhtar Galadima, speaks about the issues relating to the Abuja Master Plan. Mukhtar Galadima, thank you for joining us on Dateline Abuja.
It's my pleasure to be with you.
There is a whole lot we'll be talking about, but let's start with the basic background. Let's clear some uncertainties, beginning with the Abuja Master Plan. Now, this is a word, a language you hear all the time. Let me start by getting to know what exactly does Abuja Master Plan looks like. What does it sought to achieve? What kind of city did you have in mind when you were putting together that master plan?
Yeah, the Abuja Master Plan is that special document that's supposed to guide fiscal development of the Federal Capital City. It's a document and a product of professional consultation across the globe that produced a plan or a blueprint for the development of a new capital city for Nigeria. It was prepared in 1979. The implementation commenced 1980-81 during the Shagari administration. It's a booklet, not a map that people see all the time that this is the Abuja Master Plan. It's a booklet that talks about everything as regards to settlement development. So that's what we refer to the black book, and that is the Abuja Master Plan. Incidentally and unfortunately, I don't have a copy here. If not, I would have shown you how it looks like.
Is it modeled after any particular city in the world? I mean, did you look at a particular city somewhere and say, okay, we want Abuja to look like this?
Yes. Before the final production of the master plan, the consultant moved around some cities of the world, particularly capital cities, like Brasilia in Brazil, Canberra, Australia, Washington, D.C. in USA. So this is where they drew most of their urban design inspiration for the city. And also they moved around some of the Nigerian cities to look at our traditional elements. How can they bring it into the new city? So the final product is really a kind of experiences drawn from other capital cities of the world.
Sounds like a very comprehensive document. In terms of implementation, where would you say we are today?
The master plan has really divided the city into phases, and we have up to 4 phases. Now, substantially, I can say we have developed phases 1 and 2 to a large extent. Maybe in terms of percentage, I can put it as 75%, that is phases 1 and 2. While part of phases 3, you have some skeletal development. And we look at this development in terms of the provision of infrastructural facilities and services that facilitate other components of city development. However, in the course of administration of Malam Nasir El-Rufai, we came about phase 5, which we refer to as the belly of the city. When you look at the airport road or airport expressway, where you come to Lugbe, up to the airport at Bill Clinton Drive, then it was not part of the city development. But seeing that this is the most important aspect of the city, then the minister, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, thought it wise to integrate it as part of the city. Hence, we have what we call phase 5 of the Federal Capital City.
It was designed in 1970. Did I get you right?
79.
79, and that's a long period. And I guess master plans, development plans would have life of their own, just like a human being. I mean, they should be able to adjust to changes. Yes. We've seen more people come into Abuja. Does this master plan still take cognizance of this?
Yeah, in fact, one of the most important elements of the master plan is that provision for flexibility and changes. Yes, provisions has been made in the plan, and then in the course of implementation, I knew there was a particular time where the world experts as regards to human settlement development met and then discussed on the need to review Abuja Master Plan. So thereafter, we have not yet have a kind of a celebrated case of review of the Abuja Master Plan, but I know there are some piecemeal reviews, maybe just within a component of a neighborhood, maybe district, but a kind of comprehensive review of the master plan has not been done yet.
The biggest worry over time has been distortion. We hear the master plan has been distorted here and there. How bad is this distortion? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much distortion have we had, and what are you doing to correct that?
When you talk about distortion, sometimes people need to understand, just like the way we have discussed, the flexibility of the master plan. You see, at the time of preparing this document, you bring in certain things to assess how was the Nigerian economy, what was the level of technology at that time, what was our population composition, and even the global climatic change. These are the parameters that you have to bring in to see the dynamism of the city's development. Some of these distortions that people call distortions, these are just part of the city's dynamism. But on the scale of 1 to 10, I can say maybe we can say 4, as I can see it as part of the distortion. And this sometimes has to do with some political instances. Sometimes it has to do with some technological instances. Sometimes it has to do with even disaster that will call for that distortion. Let me give you a case. What we are seeing today as Wuse Market, because of the need and necessity at that time for a place where Nigerians can come and transact their commercial activities, Wuse Market comes to be. But it was designed as a vocational training center. Yes. So now you can see it was because of necessity that has made the authority then to change the use of a school to a market.
As a town planner yourself, Abuja in the next 20 years, what do you think it will look like?
It's a big question. Because looking at the economic situation, looking at the population explosion, looking at the social challenges in other states, if we don't step up our actions, we may lose the better part of the federal capital city.
Lose?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Because we need money to fund our infrastructure facilities and services. And we need money to service our satellite towns so that the population, people that rush to Abuja can be absorbed in these satellite towns. But if we don't do this, I tell you, in the next 20 years, we may lose the best part of our FCC.
I'll give you an opportunity for 2 quick questions and then we round up. First, what is the biggest challenge you're facing as a development control officer? And then the second would be residents of the FCT. How would they help you have a better city?
My biggest challenge, Nigerians' attitudes. When I mean Nigerian attitude, I mean the developers, other residents of the FCT, including our own staff. Because this is a place where somebody, you tell him, don't do this, don't develop until you have approval, but he will move in and start developing. When you give him stop work notice, he will not adhere to. And when you move in to enforce, then you become the victim because he has reached a sympathy level. And my advice is that people should always ensure to get their approval. They should always ensure to get their approval, and they should also assist us by giving us information on anything that they are not sure it has been approved.
I can imagine, Malam Mukhtar Galadima. I can only wish you well.
Amen. Thank you.
And thank you for speaking with us on this.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, please.
Thank you for your mails and tweets as always. Now, keep sending in your views and comments using the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality. Don't forget, you can also view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Thank you for watching. I'm Ibrahim Addra. See you next time.